topic. Elle, I'll come to you on this one. Daniel Jones has been released from the Giants.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we said this yesterday when we were talking about the timing, and he had intimated too. He wasn't exactly sure what his future would look like, if he would stay around the team, if he'd pull a Derek Carr via the Raiders and whatnot, which is why I thought the timing was so absurd and silly. Certainly, I knew he wasn't going to stick around as a fourth-string quarterback, but this was the right decision, and it was obviously a fait accompli. We knew we were going to be here.
Now it kind of makes sense why he came out and made that statement yesterday.
Well, I feel like maybe you make that statement today.
I think the statement should be made now.
Do you make it today?
I think now.
Yes, but it kind of makes a little more sense knowing that he probably knew this was coming today. But I'm with you. It should have been reversed.
Well, you could say that it should have been reversed unless they told him yesterday that he was released, and then he decided to just go out there before it became announced officially.
Yeah. Cam?
Yeah.
It all makes sense. Time will tell, as my grandma would say. Time will tell. And Lord Jesus, it was because it was given the energy like, what are you doing? It like you're benched. You're not. This is not your last snap, but it inevitably was his last snap in the organization of the Giants. So
and it's still,
it makes sense now.
The Giants mishandled this so bad. And in all of
what
I
else
said,
is new?
in all of what I've said about the fact that I don't think Elle should have been someone who was persecuted for what she did in doing her job, the Giants are the main reason that Daniel Jones has become a laughingstock, as has that organization in the way that they have dealt with him throughout his career.
Thank you. Before we pearl clutch, like, CL, do you feel bad? I was working with the information that I had at the time yesterday, which was that he was still on the team with 7 games to go, and I just found the whole thing to be incredibly silly.
Nothing you said was wrong. I'm just saying, as a Giants fan, I get where people were sensitive because he came out and gave that speech, and then it was right after that. That was like the only thing. Not on bosses calling you, and I didn't know any of that. That information, that backlash on it. RC, I'll ask you this. So it was a mutual decision between Daniel Jones and ownership. Where do they go from here?
Well, I think if you're the New York Giants, you have to start completely over. And you're in the same position you were in when you drafted Daniel Jones under Dave Gettleman, 6th overall in the draft with Kyler Murray and obviously Dwayne Haskins. But they have to find ways to win going forward. So whether that's Tommy DeVito, whether it's Drew Lock, they have to figure out a way for this team, one, having a star like Malik Neighbors, how do we get him to play to his fullest potential as the year continues? Do we see a way to keep Brian Daboll around and Joe Shane? As we heard Mr. Mara say early on in the season, he would not be moving on from them. So if you aren't, you're saying that you're going to rebuild with the same coach and the same general manager that you got to this position with. This team has to show some sort of life, has to show in some way that they can improve, and that it was in
I'm saying, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that and worsen your draft position? You have an opportunity to take Shedeur Sanders if you just keep doing exactly what you're doing now and losing. I don't think they've got to do anything different. I think they need to just keep losing and reset.
I don't know if Shedeur's going to want to go to the Giants.
He doesn't.
Can I bring up some bad memories that just to accentuate this point that we're bringing up? The Giants have been horrible.
Yeah.
You've been awful as an organization. The only crime in Daniel Jones being released by the New York Giants is that the New York Giants won't release themselves. They're horrible, okay? You've made 2 playoffs since 2011. You won 1 playoff game. We used to have discussions as to whether or not the Giants qualified as a gold standard. Well, wow, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
You let go of Tom Coughlin. The owner, Tom Coughlin doesn't even want to talk to the owner. He says goodbye to the media, and the owner went up to shake his hand. He walked right by him, okay? And then after that, what you got here? I'm looking at him.
That was the start of the downfall.
You got McAdoo. You got McAdoo, okay? You had Spagnuolo for half season. Yeah. You had Shermer. You had Joe Judge, who was a special teams dude. And then you bring up Dable, who can coach.
I think he can coach.
He can coach.
Yeah.
John Dable could coach, which brings us to the GM. What has he done? What kind of job has he done? Because he is the dude that decided to let go of Saquon. He is the dude that was flexing on Hard Knocks like he was playing. He is the dude that sat up there and said Daniel Jones is the way to go, okay? So everywhere you look, it is apropos that the New York Giants, you might not know about this, Cam, because you was in Carolina, you see what I'm saying? But here in New Jersey, it's East Rutherford, New Jersey. It's a swamp there. When you're driving on the New Jersey Turnpike, the stench, the smell just hits you. We have been wondering for years whether it's the sewage smell in the swamp or is this the Giants, all right? And by the way, we got distracted because it could have been the Jets too, since they share the same damn state. In the end, what it comes down to is the only thing that has saved the Giants from being credited with the stench that exists is the New York Jets, who ain't been in the playoffs since 2010, as well as the actual swamp and the smell itself, because we know it's bad. Giants are awful.
Cam, before you jump in on moving forward, I'm just curious from a quarterback's perspective. Obviously, as Giants fans, we all questioned when Daniel Jones got drafted, right, coming out of Duke, but he had the Manning endorsement and the Parcells endorsement. Right. Do you feel like he had the talent to ever actually be good in the league, or was it the mishandling of this team?
Listen, Daniel Jones was an extremely talented football player. Now, did that skill set show? No, not consistently enough to the point of how the New York Giants had needed their quarterback to play and how he had to play for them to win. That was not Daniel Jones' strong suit. I'm going to tell you one thing, too, that really kind of ticks me off from the perspective of an organization like this. I don't like how the New York Giants have treated their superstars. I don't like how you did Saquon Barkley. I don't like how you did Odell Beckham.
We saw that in Hard Knocks.
When you see certain things happen, not to say Daniel Jones was a superstar, but the resources for a Daniel Jones to build around certain things that when you look at it, it just puts a bad taste. Just knowing the circumstances.
I think that this ending has been a little bit disrespectful. Again, you guys are mad at me, but like the Giants put him as a scout team safety. Wild. I think they gave him a lot of leash. It feels like they gave Daniel Jones a lot of opportunity. They gave him a lot of opportunity to prove himself. He had one solid year, and then they paid him, and they overpaid him, and we all assumed that anyway. And now, you know, the chickens have come home to roost.
Just a quick nugget. Since he went to the playoffs, he's played 17 games.
Yeah.
3-14.
Right.
With 10 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. Yeah. Now the 14 interceptions, I don't want to hear that about the team. That's you, bro. That's you.
No. Well, the 26 fumbles lost. I mean, he's got more turnovers than he has touchdowns.
From the very beginning, and I believe you and Molly were on the show after he was drafted with Todd McShay. And Todd McShay said, I see a career backup.
Yes, he did.
That's exactly who Daniel Jones was. But when you draft someone 6th overall, they have to play. When you feel like they have the Manning endorsement, they are going to play. And you had an opportunity after Brian Daboll's first season to make a decision. Yeah. Do we extend Daniel Jones because we feel like we found something to be mediocre enough, or do we start this entire thing over? They mishandled that. Yeah. And so now when you have to move on from him and release him, it's all because of a position you put yourself in if you're the New York Giants.
And Kyle Shanahan, what's so telling, I know we have to go in 10 seconds, is the fact that Shedeur Sanders wouldn't want to come to the New York Giants, and it's New York City and all it has to offer just because how things have
Damn it, how about saying it ain't New York City? It's East Rutherford, New Jersey.
It's still the New York Giants. This
Damn it, you got to go through the Lincoln Tunnel.
Aaron Rodgers' career, and he's going out with a whimper instead of a bang.